Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Doubling down and then apologizing. It's the Audience One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss the difficulties in dating a celebrity, peeing in precarious places, and how many people think they are smarter than they actually are. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the guy who likes it when a woman is called a madam. It's Dick. I've had tape over my mouth before. Schisler.
Word up, dude.
Madam, huh? That's your thing?
Well, I laugh about that word because back in the day, it could be used as like a word for ma'am. You know, it could be a respectful, but then there's also kind of like you have like the job title CEO of whatever, and there he's like, oh, that's the madam of the house.
Yeah, you know that's serious.
And I'm like, where are the hookers? But I'm just kidding. I think that word is really great, and I use it all the time.
I think also it can go both ways because you call someone madam and they might take it offensively.
Oh, no,
so
actually, that's
if they refer to themselves as such.
That's my one too.
That's different.
That's my one too.
Your one too?
Because I'm single, so I meet a lot of girls. I'm like, I say ma'am, right? Even if it's like a 15-year-old young lady, I'm like, ma'am, you okay? She like tripped, and I always love people my age like, don't call me ma'am. I'm like, all right, madam.
Not a good substitute.
And they're like,
probably not a good play. I wouldn't go to that one first.
I know, I'm letting them know they're not going to win this. I'm going to be respectful, even if it, puts me at a disadvantage and you hate me. I'm like, I'm going to be respectful, okay? Do you want me to use do you want me to use the C word?
What word?
The Australians use it a lot. I can do that. You want me to use that?
They love it.
They love it.
They love that word. Well, hey man, baseball season is here. You loving it?
Yeah. Oh, you know what I love is. I think they're like, they're game 6 now.
Yeah, they're through about 6 games.
I haven't missed an Astros game.
Well, look at you.
Like, feel very fortunate in my timetable.
So through 6 games, you've seen all 2 of their wins. Great.
It is hilarious. And what I love, because I just like watching baseball, so I'm like, I put it on. But our mutual friend, Kurt, he gets so depressed about it. And I love people are like, why would I want to watch this game? We're like, oh, we're going to score a run. Oh, we might get like 3 hits.
We call those front runners.
And I said, who cares? Let's just watch some baseball.
Yeah, man.
It's fun.
And they got torpedo bats now. What do you think about the torpedo bats?
No, what's more fun to me is the Dodgers.
Who haven't lost yet. At the time of this recording.
But what I love
about it.
And are
likely going to win the World Series, let's be honest.
What I love about it is it's just they're so good. And it's just so, I'm like, I wish I was a Dodgers fan because it'd be so much fun to watch that team.
Yeah.
And then when you have like Ohtani doing a runoff, not runoff. Sorry,
walk off.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's why you pay him money.
Yep.
Even though you don't want to be in a situation where you need a walk off, but it's still fun in baseball.
Yeah, I think I'm going to actually get a torpedo microphone so I can broadcast at a higher level. To be honest with you.
Okay, so I was thinking about this when they were talking about this torpedo bat and how there's so many articles about the Yankees hiring some dude from MIT or whatever. But it's really funny to me is baseball's been around for at least 100 years.
Yes.
And you have this guy has an aha moment. It's like, here's a bat. And here are the rules on how much the bat needs to weigh. And it's like, let's just change it up. Because my favorite meme so far, if you remember this, when Mark McGwire was, in the prime, he did a commercial for some plastic bat that was hollow.
And by prime, you mean roided out of his ever-living mind. Go ahead, yes.
But like someone keeps posting, like, oh, look at the torpedo bat's not old. Like that's an old, or it's not new. And they post the picture of Mark McGwire with like this kid's bat that's meant to hit really far. And
well, and you are onto something. The torpedo bat isn't new. It has been around for a while, and players have tinkered around with it. And I don't think it's going to really gain in popularity because your big hitters are going to want a bat that has a lot of weight towards the end. It's in-loaded anyways.
Well, it also depends on how you swing, too.
Right. It depends on the player. And some of these guys, you get a bat that's less in-loaded with the weight, and you get out ahead of the ball. Now, all of a sudden, you're hitting the ball at the end of the bat where it's skinnier. You're going to foul it off every time. Now, I guess you could argue that's a good thing. You want to foul it, but I don't think it's a bat that's going to revolutionize everything. I think it's going to come back to the median, as you say, or the norm. It'll normalize, and this will be just a fad. But maybe it introduces the bat to a few guys that do benefit from it. But I think your big home run hitters, they're going to be using the same bat. They've already experimented with this stuff, man.
I also want to clarify, today is the only day I don't get to see the Astros because they're playing right now as we record this episode.
No, I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna
your streak is over.
No, I'm going to pull it up while we talk.
Watching baseball.
Here we go. I have to be committed. I have to be committed
while we record. I love it, man.
But yeah, baseball started. That's great, and the summer's coming. It's April.
It is nigh upon us.
And it's getting into the 80s consistently.
Yeah, although we're going to have one...
I went swimming this weekend.
We're going to have one cold front blowing through in the next couple of days, which is interesting. It'll be the last one, I think, before the doldrums of summer kick in.
But I'm excited. Like, the pool's looking good. It's not too cold. It's like in the 70s. And I'm like, I can handle that.
Best time of the year. Dick, I'm sure you've been hearing about all these crazy stories of people keying Teslas and doing all this vandalism to Teslas here. We talked a little bit about it last week, I think.
They're setting them on fire, dude.
Setting them on fire.
My favorite one, have you seen the one with the ATV?
I guess I haven't.
Because remember when I was telling you, I don't understand how these accidents are happening because Teslas have that automatic recording feature.
Yeah, there's tons of cameras all over them. Well, that's why people are getting in trouble for this.
And so one of them was this guy was in an ATV and just hitting them.
Oh, yeah, no, I did hear about
this.
Like,
just hitting them.
Yeah, and he was a man of size, too.
Yeah,
I saw the video.
I'm like, man, can you imagine waking up, being that upset at the world, and you're like, you're on your ATV. I'm going to get on my ATV and go hit a couple Teslas.
Well, this is the way I think about it. If you're somebody who's so inclined to go out and key a Tesla, and you get all jazzed up, man, I'm going to key a Tesla, and you look over and you find one, and you walk up to it, and it's already been keyed, do you get this tinge of disappointment, or are you proud, or do you like add to it?
Yeah, it's art. It's considered art.
It's like, dang it, they got here before I did.
Because I appreciate the when they keyed my car, they made art.
Art.
FUK. That's my favorite.
I thought it was a phallus.
Oh no, that was on the other door. That looked like a spinny.
At least it was balanced.
Looked like a spinny hat. That little rascal.
The little beanie hat.
With the little propeller. That's what it looked like to me. Because I interpret art totally different from other people.
I don't know. I wonder if you're disappointed if you see someone's already gotten to your property or not. But I don't know. I'm not so inclined.
Well, and then my favorite thing is people
Tesla or otherwise.
They're putting those stickers on the car like I bought this before.
Yeah, I'm cool, bro. I promise.
And the best one I saw was a Cybertruck, but on the tailgate it had Toyota.
Yeah, hiding that.
And I'm sitting there going like, if you really just get rid of the car, like if you're really that concerned.
Yeah. It might be tongue in cheek, to be honest with you.
I mean,
had to have been.
I think Teslas are pretty tight, but I would never buy one.
No, they're great cars from what I hear. Most people, I think, like them after their purchase. So
yeah. Especially a Cybertruck, right?
Yeah, actually, I mean, if you're gonna buy one, if you're so inclined to buy one, you probably like it.
I think if I had a Cybertruck, I would just tell everybody I'm from the future.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Just fits the persona of someone who would buy a Tesla. I'm from the future.
And like, oh, how do you know you're from the future? I have a Cybertruck. I'm from the future.
Hey, man, did you hear about the new Buc-ee's that's coming to town? Yeah, I saw some press release. I know you get all kinds of press releases. But I think
they're about Buc-ee's.
Yeah, they're opening up a Buc-ee's in Montgomery County.
Where?
I'm not entirely
Probably on the east side, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I just saw the picture of like all the guys in the suits wearing the hard hat with the shovel, breaking ground. And it made me realize that I'm never going to be a guy in a suit with a hard hat. Ever. I think you've reached a certain level in life if you put on a hard hat and a suit with a shovel.
I would have grabbed the picture for you because I did that one time and I wasn't supposed to, but I was like, "There's a shovel right there." I'm like, "Screw it, I'll take it."
Wait, but were you in a suit and a hard hat?
No,
that's key.
What was great was I was
never going to be that guy.
I was just in a golf shirt and shorts, and it was for what was it called? It's some hospital. They were adding a wing, and I went out there because one of the board members is a buddy, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey, we're trying to get people to come out," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll stop by. I'm supportive." And then when they're they wasn't even really an official kind of thing. They did the first picture, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get more pictures." So I just grabbed a shovel, and I was like,
"Love it."
It was so fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a little tinge of disappointment hit me when I realized that will never be me.
They never used it for publication, though. I wonder why.
Oh yeah, I wonder why.
I bet that person
who's this interloper here?
Who the heck is
this guy out of here? Speaking of attire, I was walking through the hallway here in City Hall to use the restroom before the show, and they have pictures of all the past board members and things up on the wall.
Here?
Yeah.
Those aren't board members. Those are mayors and council people.
Okay, past mayors and council people. And I find it interesting that the suit has lasted as long as it has. It has to be the longest lasting fashion trend of all time, because as you go back to the 60s, 70s, 50s, 40s, 30s.
Especially here, everyone has to have a red tie.
The dudes are all wearing the exact same clothes until you get to 1905, where the guy finally looks like he's, from the Civil War.
He's a prospector.
Yeah, he looks like a prospector. But then right after that, suit and tie all the way through. Yeah. I can't think of another piece of clothing that has lasted that long.
Well, I think it's also a judgment call, because people look at me and they think I'm homeless. And then even my parents, I had lunch with my father today, and he looks at me and he goes, "That's how you're going to the studio?" And I was like, "Yeah, we got one show." And it's my buddy Andrew. He's like, "Shorts, huh? That's a choice." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be 85 today. Like, what are we talking about?"
Freewheeling here at Audience of One Show.
And he's like,
freewheeling.
And I don't, we talked about how I don't
I
really
think I called your style homeless chic, right?
Yeah.
Meticulously disheveled.
Well, no, but I think it's also, what I love is people who wear suits that do hate them.
Oh, sure, but they have to as part of their job or whatever.
Because I had a friend that I met through bowling, but he'd always come to bowling after work.
Oh, yeah, and had to change.
He wouldn't change.
Oh, he'd bowl in a suit. Now it's kind of baller, actually.
It looks so uncomfortable.
It kind of reminds me of a video from the 1990s and like a ska punk rock video. They'd be bowling in a suit and tie or something. But really the only thing that's changed with the tie is maybe the lapel got a little wider, maybe the tie got a little thinner at times, but still suit and tie, baby.
Well, I mean, you go with
suit and tie.
The part with the cool suit, I like the older suits. I think if I was gonna wear suits, I buy like 1970 to 1980 Western jackets.
Oh yeah,
I think that I could go
like
for
Hank
that.
Williams style.
Yeah, I think I could do
Love
that.
it. Where's your tear?
I think that would be. I think when people look at me, I'm like, oh, did he just find that off like the homeless rack? Of like,
you could probably find them at the secondhand stores.
Oh yeah, I do.
Right next to the Pearl Snap shirts, which by the way, I used to want one so bad, and then they got popular, and I was no longer.
Well,
interested.
every time I go to Austin, we go to there's a certain retail,
thrift store. That is the best place.
And I always buy one when we go.
Yeah,
there.
for sure. So I grew up. I went to school in that area, so going to Austin thrift stores was something we did frequently. And yeah, I found some pretty cool stuff back in the day.
Yeah, and that's I think if you're gonna wear a suit, have some fun with it. Because I wonder. So if there's a onesie out there,
yeah, onesie, have fun with your suit wearing.
Well, I was thinking about that. Like, say you are required to wear a suit to work. What happens if you wear one of those like what the pro basketball players wear, where it has
like a tracksuit?
No, it's like all these designs. It's loud.
Like if you turned your suit jacket inside out?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, I wonder what happens if you wear those.
I mean, technically.
Would you get in trouble?
I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. It's still technically a suit.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you'll be that guy.
Yeah, you'd be
Everyone
that guy.
thinks you're that guy, but
You're not CEO material.
But see, I think you can't be that
Destined
guy.
for middle management looking like that.
No, I think you look destined if you look uncomfortable in a suit. And there's a lot of dudes who do look uncomfortable.
Yeah, my problem with suits is they still, for whatever reason, put shoulder pads in. I'm like, what are we doing here? I don't need shoulder pads. Just give me a dang jacket. But they still do it.
I can remember I was getting fitted for a suit, a custom suit, and they were like, "Oh, this is the style," and I'm like, "This is terrible. I feel like I'm going to blow up. Like if I can't, well, I meant like if I can't bend over and grab something, and everything contracts because everything is the way they cut suits these days.
That is called fitted.
Fitted,
Yes.
and I was like, I told the guy, like, do not do that. He's like, well, I don't want to make you look like a 1950s gangster.
Yeah, but you also don't. Yeah, exactly. Or look like somebody from the 2000 NBA draft.
Yeah,
everything
like,
was just hanging off of people.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I just don't feel comfortable. Like, I want to be able to tie my shoe without feeling I'm going to rip something.
Right.
But dudes do that these days. I'm like, that
I
doesn't.
think we have finally reached the apex of the tight clothing, though. I think it really hit a fever pitch probably about 4 or 5 years ago, where everything was just so ridiculously tight, and even guys that weren't out of shape looked like they were out of shape because everything was so tight. But I believe the breaking point was the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance, where we're back to a little bit looser jacket, a little bit of bell-bottom flare jeans. I love it. Needs to be tight in certain places, but not all over. It's not a good look, and it's not functional at all.
Where do you get your suits? Because you wear, I don't think I've ever seen you.
I don't wear suits, man.
Yeah.
Come on. I did work with somebody one time who was wearing he was significantly younger than me and wearing significantly tight pants. And we stood up from like a meeting, and he's pushing his pants down like this because they're so tight. And I looked over at him. I said, hey, bro, if you just wore pants like me, that wouldn't be a problem. He's, oh, man, it sucks.
No, I went to Nordstrom's and got slacks for that wedding. and I found like the perfect slacks because they were like, it said like they're sportswear.
Ooh,
And I was like, sportswear and slacks? What am I chasing down bad guys?
Action pants is what I call them. Actually, I'm wearing my action pants today.
Really?
Yes.
And I
Ready
laughed.
for action.
And then I realized, I was like, I wonder if I can wear these for nationals because I don't have slacks.
Nationals bowling, that is.
Yeah, I don't have slacks.
You don't need slacks. I think you're allowed to wear jeans now. I don't know. No one cares, especially the onesie.
Oh, they
I want
care.
you to look something
They
up.
care.
Actually, I read this right before I left to come over to the studio, so I did not put it on the run sheet, and I don't know if this is actually the case. It was a headline. Do you remember the Pepsi Challenge?
Kinda.
Okay, I don't know if you were old
Is
enough
that where
or
you
not.
turn in
I think
your
the
Coke products?
No, I think this is where they had the big national challenge, the taste test between
Oh, it's right.
between Coke and Pepsi, and Pepsi ended up winning in a national taste test. I think. Well, I read a blurb that they're bringing it back, and I thought, really, we're doing this again? But I suppose it's been long enough. Do you think you could tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi? 'Cause
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I think I can too.
I can do it by the smell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, well,
I don't know about smell.
Coke, I do not like Coke.
Really?
Not like it will throw up, but it has so, I don't
Are
know
you
what.
are you prepared to tell me that you like Pepsi
I
better
don't
than
really
Coke?
like soda, but
Yeah, I'm not a huge
I had a
soda
soda today. I want to let you know how proud you should be of me today.
Okay, how proud should I be of you
So,
today, Dick?
I got a thing on the social media that my favorite barbecue joint was doing smash burgers, and I was like, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. And the show canceled, the one before here. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a little outing. I'm gonna go over there because it's kind of far. And I get there, and I forgot they give you free beer.
Oh, you forgot, dadgummit.
And I'm sitting in line.
Now I have to drink beer in the middle of the day.
I'm sitting in line, and this older gentleman was having trouble with the cooler, and I open it for him. And I'm like, here, get a beer. And I look down. I'm like, man, I could totally go for a beer right now. And then I go, I can't be drunk before audience of one. So
Yeah, usually I'm drunk during, not before.
yeah, and I was like, I can't do that. And then I was waiting in line. I ordered my food, and I get it to go because I was bringing it to my dad. And there's nowhere to sit but with this old guy. So I sat with the old guy, and he was just munching. I was like, can I sit with you? He's like, yeah. So I'm talking to him, and he's sipping that Miller Lite. And I
That's
was
all
like,
it did for you. Just triggered something.
I was looking at him. I'm like, how's that beer? And he's like, it's really good. And I'm like, God, Lee, I want one of those.
Okay, I thought you were about to tell me that you preferred Pepsi over Coke, and I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say that. Although
I don't really care. Well, the reason
is sweeter.
The reason I bring that up,
I think I can tell the difference is what I'm getting at.
was I got their. They don't usually do burgers. So
Oh yeah, you're on to another story.
So they do combos, and like here you can get a soda. And I was like, okay, I'll get a soda.
Sure.
And they had those off-brand sugarcane sodas, like the fancy ones. Mm-hmm. And I had 2 of them.
You're geeking out on sugar.
And then I was dying afterwards. I was like, I have like the worst sugar crash in my life.
Yeah.
And
I need a beer to up this.
that's when I really regretted not getting a beer.
Yeah, I would argue that 1 beer is probably better for you than 2 sodas, especially the pure cane or whatever sodas.
But you know what I would do if that place? I would just hang out in line and just drink their beer. I'd be like, I'm just in line.
Just keep going
You can
over
get
and
in
over
front
and
of me,
over
though.
again.
You're good. I'm not in a hurry.
Put your hat on sideways
Yeah.
and backwards, sunglasses on one time.
But shout out to Bar ABBQ. And
the best BRBQ in Montgomery
it
County.
is. It
or
really
so
is.
I have been told.
I'm trying to convince you to go with me, but we can't hang out.
I don't want to do that. All right, man, let's go ahead and kick off this show because we've got so much, and I will tell you this much. I had to pare down this week's run sheet quite a bit because there's just a ton of stuff going on.
They really, especially with tariffs.
It's just, this is a tariff-free
Oh, my
episode right here, everyone. Tariff-free episode. Oh, my gosh. You know what? Before we get started, I just want to we never do this. We're actually really terrible at doing this, and that is promoting this show. I had somebody who recently started listening to the show said, oh, my gosh, I love the show. How long have you been doing it? I said, probably over 2 years now. They said they had no idea. They'd never even heard of it. So I'm just going to ask all the onesies, if you do like what you're hearing, like, share, let somebody know, whatever, because apparently we don't market ourselves enough and we're terrible at it. So
Well, I don't like telling people about it on my social media because I already post enough stupid stuff. And then it's
well,
like,
again, if you're listening to my voice right now
but
and
I
you
tell
enjoy
people,
the show,
I tell people. I told you at the bowling alley, they
just
started listening.
Give a show, right? That there's another example.
And
give
I
a
didn't tell
thumbs
them about
up, give a like, give a share, invite friends, but also go to our show. What is it? Facebook page, Audience of One Show with Andrew and Dick, and give us a like or a follow.
See, Andrew, I like to earn my celebrity status instead of just push it on people.
Yeah.
Because if you push it on people,
Do you know who I am?
yeah. Do you?
I think.
Do you
You
not
know what I think
who
you need
am?
to do? You need to sit down next to someone uncomfortably close, and when they look over at you, you just go, "Yeah, it's me." just to see what they say.
Well, I forgot.
right.
Well, I like
That's
the
right.
opposite of that. I forgot what movie it was. I think it was like had Devin saw one, and
Crap,
they
I thought we were going to start the show.
and they cheated. They cheat, and the guy like he was the last one to turn in his paper, and the guy's like got in trouble because they think he was cheating, and he goes, "Do you even know my name?" And the professor's like, "No," and he puts his paper down and mixes all the papers together, and he's like, "See you later."
Yeah, don't know now. Prove it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, United Airlines.
Should I try that if I get pulled over?
What? Do you know who I am?
Like, do you not know who I am? And he's like, "Nope." I'm like, "See you later."
Yeah, exactly. You don't know who I am. A United Airlines Boeing 787 jetliner flying from Los Angeles to Shanghai had to turn around last weekend after it was discovered one of the pilots. What, Dick? One of the pilots.
Oh, I read
what?
this.
Oh, dang
Because
it.
we always have airline
Yeah, I love
stories.
it. He had taken off without his passport. And what's crazy about this is they actually had to turn around. They were leaving from departed LAX 2 p.m. Saturday, March 22nd with 257 passengers and 13 crew on board and headed northwest over the Pacific Ocean. About 2 hours later, the plane turned around and was redirected to San Francisco. And you can see there's a picture in this article I sent. You know how the planes now will have like a little a flight path?
Yeah.
You could see it go out into the ocean and turn around, do a 180, and come right back to the shore. But apparently, into the flight, the pilot came on sheepishly and said, we arranged for a crew to take our customers to their destination this evening. I have forgotten my passport.
I feel like that would happen more often.
Well, and I would
there
also
would
feel
have to
like
be a protocol where like
that's what
you
I was
land and
thinking.
you're just like, hey, you just gotta stay here.
Just don't get off the plane.
Or just stay right at the United Airlines lounge
or something. Yeah, I'm surprised as well, but I guess since they were going to China, and it's not necessarily a country that might be lax on the rules, he decided I wasn't going to screw with it. I imagine if he was going somewhere else, I would have said Canada, but they're not on friendly terms with us any longer. They would have probably let it slide. But yeah, he had to turn around. Can you imagine the feeling, looking frantically?
No, I get it.
And your wallet, you're opening up going, texting your wife, honey.
I left
honey,
my
look,
toaster on.
Look on the nightstand. Did I leave my wallet there? Crap.
Can you mail it?
Yeah, something quick. Overnight it. Well, I guess he would have beaten it there, but that.
Well, I mean,
is
I
funny
guess
to
that
me,
it
man.
could be, instead of turning it around, just like, honey, can you bring my passport and put it on the guy's next flight to China?
Next flight to China, yeah, but he would again. I think it's the second you're in their airspace is where it becomes a problem. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I'd be curious. That's fun, but then again, that'd be inconvenience. But then did the airline do anything for the passengers? Just
so
curious.
It says one of the passengers received 2 meal vouchers totaling $30, which she used for a meal at a Japanese restaurant in the airport. She also filed a compensation claim at United's website where she was informed to, quote, expect a response within 14 days.
Good for them.
For the inconvenience. I just thought
at
it was
least you
kinda
didn't
funny.
have a guy shake his private on you and pee on your neighbor or elderly lady.
Yeah, there's probably a little more compensation in this case than in that case. United's got a little bit deeper pockets than that guy.
Yeah.
After all, we could see his pockets. Recently on the online reality show Catfished.
Oh,
You heard of this show, Catfished? It featured a 34-year-old Texas woman named Desiree who was convinced that she was in a relationship with Morgan Wallen, despite the fact that she had never met the country superstar and that he had asked her to send him thousands of dollars, which, someone like Morgan Wallen probably needs, strangers to just send him money because he's doing so poorly these days.
I guess that's kind of amazing to me. But then I'm not surprised.
I just don't understand this, but apparently it all started when Desiree received a video message from, quote, Morgan Wallen, who began flirting with the woman and soon offered her a job when they started, quote, dating.
Have you seen those AI dudes who there's a guy who stream on Twitch and he looked similar to Keanu Reeves, I think it was.
Yeah,
or
I've seen
Tom
it.
Cruise.
And the AI will change their face and it looks identical to this. Yeah,
So-
and I guess this was an AI thing.
Yeah.
But again, as is with most
But it
of
was
the cases.
live, though. This was live. So I wonder if you want to catfish a girl and be like, yeah, I'm Keanu Reeves. Let's FaceTime. And then make sure all your AI stuff's set up.
And that might be convincing, but
Send
I
me
think
money.
the story goes sideways when he says, "Oh, also, can you send me a couple $100 in Apple gift cards?" But that's exactly what this guy did. He started asking for large amounts of Apple Music gift cards, and Desiree somehow convinced herself this was a normal request. Mm-hmm. And he conned her out of $18,000.
Wow.
Now, I don't want to victim blame here. But lady, come on. I don't think she understands what dating is.
Well, again...
You've never met the guy.
No, again, okay, you may tell you how... Well, the world constantly surprises me. I had this person, and I sent a screenshot, too, of an email.
Uh-huh.
And they finally, we meet up later, and they're like, hey, that thing you sent me, I couldn't click on the links.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, it's a screenshot.
Oh, they couldn't figure it out.
And they were like, yeah, they had the URLs and and I was trying to click on it, and I was like, yeah, because it's a screenshot. She's, I understand that, but I couldn't click on the links.
I don't think you understand what a screenshot is.
Yeah, and I was sitting there going wow. But then again, it's I'm not surprised by anyone's behavior these days.
Yeah, she apparently also gave the scammer
especially people can't comprehend what a tariff is. How do people not know what a tariff is?
Are we going back to this well?
I just want to keep talking about it. I think it's funny.
I mean we certainly can if we want to run off every single one of our listeners.
I was thinking about this. Do you think anyone's going to name their child
Tariff?
Tariff?
Oh, and there might be.
That would be so good. Oh, little Tariff over here. He's getting so big. Yeah. That'd be good.
It's kind of a tight name.
Yeah, I like it.
Maybe for a cat.
Yeah, that would be...
Kitty cat Tariff.
Yeah.
Tariff kitty cat. Yeah, he also apparently scammed her out of her social security number, her bank account information, and credit card information,
which is probably why
that's how it got up to
$18,000.
$18,000. It wasn't $18,000 in Apple gift card music or gift
I
card,
feel really bad for that lady. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. Hey, man, do you remember a couple months ago, I guess it was last year around this time, we were talking about a commencement speech at Ohio State University, and it was that online influencer, Chris Pan, who got up there and started...
Crypto guy, right?
Yeah, he was a crypto guy,
yeah.
And he started selling Panda and bracelets and singing and all this. It was really odd. Well, I think this may top that, but the University of Maryland has now invited someone a little interesting to do their commencement speech. Kermit the Frog.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, University of Maryland said, hold my beer, OSU.
No.
And said,
no,
we're
this
getting
is
Kermit
not
the
even
Frog.
comparable.
I don't know. To me, if I were a student at this university, I think I'd be kind of pissed, man. It seems like It seems like a little bit of a slap in the... Really? A puppet? This is what we're doing, guys? An effing puppet.
Well, I remember when I graduated...
$60,000 a year, and this is what I get?
I remember when I graduated, and I was like, well, I'm just going to come home. My mom goes, you're not going home. You're going to your graduation. And I go, why? He's like, because your grandparents are going to be there. I'm like, oh, man. That means
you got guilted into it.
I have to go.
I don't know. I think I'd be insulted listening to a frog telling me to, live, laugh, and love. And
no, that's not Kermit style, dog.
Life is what happens to you when you're making plans. All that stupid commencement speech cliche crap.
I think it'd be great. I think I would actually, if Kermit the Frog was coming to my commencement, I'd be like, heck yeah, front row, dude.
I guess, but
even though my name would be in the back, I'd be in the back.
Apparently, it's because Jim Henson is an alum of that university.
Oh, great.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's not Jim Henson though. It's the stupid frog with someone else's hand up his butt. I don't know. I just thought that was a little interesting, my friend.
There's something. I think it's Brian Henson. Yeah.
So apparently, Kermit has issued a statement. Quote: "Nothing could make me happier than to speak at the University of Maryland. I just know that the class of 2025 is going to, quote, leap into the world and make it a better place. I just told you, this is going to be full of just cliche crap. Make it a better place, so if a few encouraging words from a frog can help, then I will be there," Kermit said in a statement shared by the university and the Muppets studio. Dude, I don't know. I think I'd be kind of pissed off. I don't know. Give me Chris Pan. I think I'd rather that, dude. But you apparently are front row for Kermit.
Yeah. Imagine imagine the selfies. Like, I want to get a picture with Kermit. It'd be really funny. I would do a practical joke if I'll get in so much trouble for this, but if I knew Kermit was coming, I would hijack the sound system and play like a speech from Stalin.
Good God.
So when Kermit's moving his mouth,
I guess he has. Well, you have to override the audio of the guy. Turn down one. Oh man,
got him.
You see Kermit darting his eyes left and right.
I'm not saying this, and then makes the guy actually stand up. Kermit's not real.
would be kind of great.
Yeah, that'd be good, man. I like
A
it.
candy-loving British man who joked about wanting a Snickers-themed coffin got his dying wish. He was buried in a box molded after the iconic sweet treat. There are some pictures online if you want to show the onesie here, but it's kind of funny. But Paul Broom, who worked as a care assistant at a home for adults.
Funny fact before we move on.
With learning disabilities.
Jim Henson's son is married to the actress from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
The girlfriend?
Yeah. Way to go, Jim Henson's son.
Okay.
Like,
not sure I needed that in the middle of this story, but
sorry.
Now it's a...
Well, I just remember when you said Jim Henson, I was like,
Squirrel.
you know, that whole company is like, have done great stuff. And
including snagging, what was her name in that movie? I
don't remember.
It was a weird name. No, it was a really strange name.
I don't know.
Oh, I actually want you to look that up now.
I am.
I can't remember. Paul Broom, who worked as a care assistant at a home for adults with learning disabilities, would often allude to the peanutty idea. Sloan. Yeah, there you go. Weird name. With the amazement of his friends and family. And of course, there is a huge Snickers, I guess, decorated coffin with, I don't know what that is, an eagle or something on the front of it. And on the side of it, written in the Snickers font, is, "I'm nuts." Hey, look, man.
I'm pulling it up.
I guess if you want to do this,
it.
that's fine. Obviously, I don't care. As far as these things go, I guess it's fine. But the coffin's really not for the dead guy. Let's be honest. He's dead. He's not going to really know this. It's for everybody else. So to be honest with you, it kind of seems like a waste of resources. But you do you. His last dying wish to be buried in a Snickers bar. What would you choose, Dick, if you could be buried in something a little different?
I have to be buried in it?
Yeah, a coffin.
I like that Viking idea.
A snack. Well, yeah, that's something.
I told you that.
A snack.
Wouldn't that be a great
coffin.
reception?
Yeah, something about floating you out over the...
And everyone gets to shoot a bow and arrow
at you. Yeah, of
I
course.
think that'd be great. I think that'd be the funniest thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, you missed. We're gonna be here all day."
To bring this story back up, I think you should do it when you're old and sick or dying.
And they can hear my screams.
Yeah, and so they actually put you out of your misery. Revisit an episode from about 8 months ago. Onesies.
Let's see. What would I be buried in?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not Snickers,
if I had to art carve my coffin.
I think I would do. You know what I would do?
No, I would do the Titanic.
Okay.
Okay. I would make it look like the Titanic, so it's going underground.
Except you wouldn't be in it. You'd be on the front of it, like Jack and Rose.
Or I would do like Passion of the Christ kind of thing.
No, I think you should be on the front like Jack and Rose, man, hanging off the front with your dad.
I think that would be great.
I'm the king of the world.
No, I think.
Oh, almost cussed. That's great.
Yeah, our son, Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
No. I'll do Terminator. And it'll say, "I'll be back."
You just have a thumb sticking out at the top
say,
of it.
"I'll be back" on the side.
Your hand and your thumb sticking up. That'd be great.
I'll be back.
I think I would want to do, like, the chalk drawings when there's someone dies, and then their arm is like up askew and their arm is like, I think I would have a coffin shaped like that and have them put my body into the coffin.
No, what would be even better is it's made out of chalk paint.
There you go.
And everyone has to sign it.
There you go.
Or doodle on it.
Why is that? Like, everybody who happens to die and have a chalk drawing is in that position. You ever notice that? They're never just like this. They've always got to have an arm askew or a leg askew.
Usually it's a murder scene.
Oh,
yeah,
so
they get hit in the back of the head and they fall forward. True. And most people extend their arms to catch themselves.
No, this is true, I guess. All right, man, it's probably a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to discuss teenagers and their antics right here on the Audience of One show. Stick around.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gull Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
And we're back for part 2 of this episode of Audience of One on Lone Star Community Radio, your community radio station here in Montgomery County. feel to sponsor, donate the show today, visit us online at irlonestar.com/a.
I believe that's AOO.
That's AOO. Or you can follow us on social media. Just look up Audience of One Show, especially our podcast. Subscribe to that. We're here every Friday at 10 a.m.
We are.
And having a good time
Having
so
a great time
far.
today, man. Great
the
time.
Astros
Great
are
show.
winning.
Great show. I just can't get over you in a Titanic coffin hanging off the front.
And right when they hit...
With your blow-up doll Rose girlfriend.
And I'll do a censor when they lower me in the ground. It's Celine Dion song comes on. My heart will go on. Oh, it'd be so great.
That's greatness.
And then it'd be like lines from the movie playing over it. It's like, I'll never forget you. Or no,
wonderful.
paint me like a French girl, Jack. Like when you go French girls.
That's too much. Now you've gone overboard.
No, I like it. And then there'd be steam on the coffin with the hand.
But again, this is all performative for the people who are still alive. The dead person has no idea what's going on.
I just like the idea of laughing at a funeral.
Do you now? Why am
do.
I not surprised?
Because every funeral I went to is terrible. It's so sad.
I don't think there's supposed to be a joyous moment.
No.
Dick. Man, hey, what do you want to do this Saturday? I don't know. You got anybody that died? Go to a funeral. No one says this, ever.
Yeah, that's why I like the idea of, what'd you do this week? I went to a funeral. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, it was weird. We got to shoot flaming arrows at a...
Had a great time. What'd you do? Went to a funeral.
Drank beer, shot some arrows.
This is true. We got to jazz these things up somehow.
And did I tell you the new idea I had is the ship's burning, right?
Right. This is the Viking burial.
This is the Viking burial.
Right.
And what's going to happen is there's no timetable on this. Like, do people just start leaving after it catches on fire, or do you like wait for it to sink? Mm-hmm. And what I'll do is when it gets to like 10 minutes on fire, and my voice will come on, be like, "Thanks for showing up," and then I'll blow up the ship.
Kaboom! Yeah, with explosives. Yeah, you have some explosives in the bottom.
And I'll put whale blubber in the boat. So it just goes over everybody, and they'll be like, "Is that Richard all over us?"
And so the concept here is the ship is going out into Lake Conroe, and somebody has a flaming arrow trying to set the ship on fire.
Everyone gets a shoot. Everyone gets a turn.
Everyone gets one turn, even Granny, who can barely pull the arrow back.
It's kind of like going to piano.
Actually sets the grass on fire.
It's like doing a piano, and you're like, everyone gets a chance.
Yep.
Get some candy.
And then again, if no one is able to set the boat on fire, then the explosives come in handy.
No. You're staying there until it's until somebody hits it.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Until someone hits it, and when it catches on fire, people are like, "Do we leave yet, or what's going on?"
Bring lots of kerosene.
And then when it's on fire for a certain point, there'll be some type of trigger, and then it'll just blow up, and it'll blow up all the whale blubber. And it'll land all everybody, and people would, I got one person just covered it, like, "This is Richard. Richard's all over us."
Take a piece of me with you.
Yeah.
That's right, wherever you go. Dick,
My heart will.
I am amused by people who post things on the internet, maybe to like a community site or something like that. It's kind of serious. Maybe it's a car accident or something like that. And of course, they're shocked by the comments that they received by this. Oh, how can you comment about something like this? Is so horrific. I'm just mortified by all these comments. And I'm thinking, welcome to the internet. What did you expect to happen? Then the one I'm referring to now is we have a car that rolled over off 242 and everyone was okay. And I don't know, I guess some people were posting things that were not overly concerned with the well-being of the people and making comments on something else. I don't know. And this person's just going off on him, man. Like, "Well, I can't believe you're not, this is extremely serious." And I'm like, well, then don't post it. Just don't post anything to the internet. Because that's what's going to happen.
There's certain people who I really enjoy in my life who are online trolls, and one of my buddies posted just a headshot of Elon Musk.
And that's it.
Then it just went, they were going to town on it.
Yeah, and you don't know if he supports him, dislikes him, or whatever, but just let the comments go where they may.
Let people just run through it.
Welcome to the internet. That's what it's for.
I dig it.
That's what it's for. I
don't know. What would I post to get people riled up? Well, that's what the
audience of one.
Well, the local politics. What's really great about AI is I've noticed some of the trolls for the local politics. They're making images with like the mayor and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
and people don't understand, like, that's not real. And it's so funny.
Well, it's a problem, though. I think, honestly, this is going to be a problem moving forward, especially as AI. I mean, look, if you've got the mayor riding on like a I don't know, an eagle flying over
Yeah.
the city of Conroe or something. We obviously know that's fake, but I think it's going to be a problem when you have political leaders that are saying things that are potentially, someone can react with their hand on the button, so to speak, the atomic button, when you can't tell that it's real or not. If they're saying something disparaging or acts of treason or war or whatever, I think it could be problematic, Dick. Just going to throw that out
I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah. I've already had a good life.
Tariffs, right?
Tariffs.
Give me a tariff. Kitty.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
But yeah, I mean, there's some funny stuff on the internet. I try to send you stuff.
You do every now and again.
There's some good ones,
including your genitals.
Did I
but
send you
you
the-
can
oh,
avoid those as well.
I
please.
didn't send you the one with the Catwoman and the Penguin, right?
Your genitals and the Catwoman
Yeah.
dressed up as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me that one.
All right, good.
No, you didn't send me.
It's really good. But yeah, people are really creative online. I say go for it. Just
I like how you put a hat on it. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
well, yeah. I got inspired from that drawing I had on my car. It really stuck with me, and I'm like, look at these
We
little.
gotta change subject.
Look at this spinny hat. Look at the spinny hat.
When is the last time you saw a commemorative plate advertised on television or something? You remember? You know what I'm saying when I say a
You
commemorative
mean like
plate?
for a car?
No, like a dinner plate
Oh,
or a
yeah,
plate
yeah.
that you put up on the wall. It seems like when
Well,
I
don't
was
watch,
a kid.
I don't watch QVC at all.
Right.
So
I think that's what it is. I just don't watch television like I did when I was a kid.
yeah.
Because it seemed like there was always some Ronald Reagan or Roy Orbison commemorative plate that was being,
That's a good-
for 3 installments of $29.99.
Elvis Presley.
These babies can be yours. Yeah, Elvis Presley. But I don't see those anymore. And I thought, have they kind of come and gone, or is this just because
No,
I'm
they're
not
gonna make
noticing?
a comeback,
You think?
just like Pokemon cards.
Bro, audience of one. We need to get on the grift, buddy. We are missing out. If commemorative plates are still a thing, we got to have some.
Well, it's all about buzz, right? Like I saw the other day locally, someone posted the GameStop here. It had like a line out the door, and I'm like, aren't video games like online now? Aren't they
Right,
digital?
right.
And everyone's like, yeah, it's the new Pokemon cards release, and so everyone was in line for Pokemon
Really?
cards. Yeah.
Interesting.
Way to
And
go, GameStop.
And I'm wondering if they have some sort of digital component to them, like they've got some sort of QR code you can scan and do something
No,
online
and it's
with
just
them.
cards.
It's just straight up
Kind of
cards.
like baseball cards.
Right.
People
Well, I
collect them.
figured, but there's no digital component to it at all.
No. And it's a game. It's like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
But-
I know. I know what the Pokemon.
But it's just funny to
game
me
is
that
as
people
well.
still go to GameStop
To get
because back in
cards.
the day, I mean, I would go to GameStop and wait in line for the Grand
new
Theft
release,
Autos
right.
or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, man, games are still like that. I could have sworn everything went digital.
I think the grift now is meme coins. That's where it's all gone.
I still don't understand that.
Yeah, I know, buddy. I know, little buddy. It's okay. I'll explain cryptocurrency to you during the break.
No, I understand cryptocurrency,
well, it's a meme
100%.
coin. That's all it is.
But when you do meme coins, it's a standalone in that one little universe. So, like, I understand buying Bitcoin today because that's probably one of the biggest purses.
Sure,
But
it has
if-
a finite limit.
But
to
if
it, I
you're going to
believe.
buy a Hawk2 or a Trump coin, like, I don't see the benefit because, like, you can't. You might. I know you can transfer a Trump coin to like a Bitcoin, but the
Okay,
value
I
is
don't know if
you're
you
going
can
to
do
lose your money on that.
well, you can, and most do because
Yeah,
those
'cause they're
are
memes.
They're bait and switch, regardless if they're meme coins or not. They're bait and switch scenarios. You typically, anytime you have a celebrity who is attached to a coin and a coin release, most likely it's going to be
When's it not?
a bait and switch
When's
type
it not a bait and
situation.
switch?
Well, like you said, Bitcoin or something like that,
But
which is really the only one that's probably.
and Dogecoin.
Yeah,
that was
but
kinda
even then,
popular.
that's
still
that's
kind of meme
yeah,
meme
that's,
coin.
that's Mimi. I mean, that's the grandfather of the Mimi.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like whatever people buy. It's whatever. Like people buy jars of farts.
So what? Yeah, they do.
So it's like
I've got a couple in the truck right now. No, but what it is, you have people with a lot of money invest in.
or bathwater. That's my favorite one. Huh? You ever saw that? That girl, some girl online, popular.
Oh, selling her bathwater.
yeah. She's like, I'm in the bath and
Good God.
I'm gonna. You can buy a jar for $50.
You know, I don't blame her for selling it because there's someone buying it. It's the idiot buying it. If she's just making a buck, man.
You know, I don't know if you noticed in the news, Hooters went bankrupt.
Yeah, they're re-hooterifying, right?
And
What's it called?
I was-
Rehootification.
I was listening to this podcast that had this. I guess he's like an economy guy, but he goes.
Otherwise known as an economist. Go ahead.
But you could be like a YouTuber, blah blah blah. And he was really funny about it. He's like, yeah, any business that relies on pretty women is going to go bankrupt because all the pretty women now are getting on OnlyFans. So it's like your talent pool is very small. And he's
maybe.
like, well, they even said like even in the modeling world, because the modeling world has that top 1%. Like
Sure.
you go to Paris or whatever.
Sure.
It's like, but it's even worse for like local models who do like academy. It's like no one wants to be.
I mean, okay, that's also indicating that the women that work at these restaurants are also model quality. And I would assume
well, they
that
used
some
to
of
be
them,
20 years ago.
I imagine some of them are, but most of them are just
I used
young
to go when I
girls.
was 5. I was
Just young girls dressed scantily, and there's always going to be a market for that. Trust me.
and this.
But I think the rehoodification.
I liked it though. It was fine. It made sense to me. I was like, yeah, if I was an 18 to 27-year-old that was attractive,
Exactly.
I'd
And I don't think.
rather be making $100,000 a year or just taking a picture of me.
Well, look, there are other restaurants like.
And we don't slut shame anymore.
Well, we
so-
should. We really should.
No, we
I'm
should
just
not.
kidding. No, we should not.
We just shouldn't talk to strangers.
Like what is it, Twin Peaks and some of these Bone Daddies or whatever. Some of these other ones are very
Daddies,
They're very
yeah.
successful, and Hooters hasn't changed. Like when you walk in there, it still looks like it's 1987. So I don't think it's anything to do with
True.
the boobs
Oh,
and
no,
the
no,
girls.
I get
They
you.
just haven't changed with the times.
Yeah,
and I
well-
think now that they've gone bankrupt, and whatever this company is that bought them is, like I said, going to do a rehoodification where they're going to change the image, and I don't know what that means, but. There's still plenty of room for boobs and burgers, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, one of my favorite things is I used to hang out with a girl who worked at Hooters. And,
Yeah, you did.
And my favorite thing was they had
What was your favorite thing?
what do they call them? Like a vending machine. They had vending machines there for their stockings.
Oh, right, yeah. Mhm.
And I always laughed at that. I was
That's
like,
in case you lost yours at home, or if one has a run in
because
it.
I remember talking to her about it. I was like, do perverts go there and buy that stuff? Like, can I go and give you
No,
like,
they want the ones that have been worn.
well, that's when I was like, that's really weird to me that they had like, I'm the owner of Hooters. Here's a vending machine for pantyhose. Like, why don't they just give you pantyhose? Unless pantyhose are like $40. I have no idea how much that stuff is.
Do you remember pantyhose that used to be sold in the little egg cartons? Like when I remember, like when I was a
Yeah.
kid, called legs. They were called legs. And you would go to the grocery store, and there would be a whole aisle of these little egg cartons. I was fascinated as a kid. They don't have those anymore, I guess, or they're probably just packaged differently.
And let me ask you this: you like to judge people a lot.
all the time. I'm judging you
So
right
I went
now.
to Twin Peaks not too long ago.
Confused by the whole.
I was
thing.
very confused
Yes.
about the entire operation because I remember sitting. I was in a spot perfect. To my left was all the tables. To my right was the bar that connected outside, and the bartender had like most ridiculous clothes on, right? And then and to my left was a full generational family having their
Sunday dinner.
Sunday dinner. Like the grandma was there, the little babies are there in the high chairs, and like I mean it was like a family of probably 18. And I was sitting there looking at them, and I looked to the right, there's a thong.
Yeah.
I'm looking over here, there's a family, there's a grandma, and I looked down, I wanted another beer, and I was like, where am I?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
What's happening right now?
Yeah, she comes over with big old juggy girl. Can I refill your soda there?
And I will make a comment. They pride themselves with the coldest beer,
Yeah, like 28 degrees or something
but
like that.
doesn't take away if the beer tastes like butt, because it did.
Oh, no. But
And-
hey, we love you, Hooters. If you'd like to sponsor Audience One Show, feel free. Unless you're talking about Twin Peaks. Them too.
Well,
feel free.
so here's a funny story. When I was like, oh, I'll try this coldest beer, and the beer was skunked, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
realized after I asked the waitress the question, I probably shouldn't be asking ladies this, but I go, hey, this beer tastes really weird. And she's like, okay. I go, do you want to try it? And I
you know
realized
what would make
after.
this beer much better if you just take your top off. Can you do that?
No.
Oh, you didn't say that? Oh.
No, but it's just funny to me. It's like, it just tastes so bad. Try it.
Yeah, it just tastes like crap.
And I go, why
Trust
am I
me.
asking this woman to try this terrible beer? Like, I don't think she cares.
No one hardly ever does that when something's good. Oh, it's so good, you should try some of it.
So that's what I was thinking.
It's terrible. Taste it.
Well,
It doesn't make much
in
sense.
my mind, if I owned that place, I would want to taste it just to see, so I can say like, okay, this is what's going on. It's the CO2,
Mm-hmm.
blah, blah blah, bad keg, da, da. But I realized after asking that lady, I was like, I should not have asked that. Probably shouldn't ask people that. They probably should take my word for it that this tastes terrible.
She probably already knew it tasted terrible. They don't care. People aren't going there for the beer and wings. Trust me.
Well, that's the only reason I went.
Trust me.
Not for the wings, but for the coldest beer in town. But plus, my buddy likes going to that place. It's just funny to me. That whole family dynamic. I was like, there's that, and then there's that. There's that, and then there's that. Weird.
Oh, man. Dick, whatever happened to the hole in the ozone layer?
It's probably
I swear.
still there.
Much like the commemorative plates I used to see on TV, I used to hear a lot about the ozone layer and this hole that was caused by what? Do you remember what they said was causing?
Cow farts?
No, at the time it was CFCs from like Hairspray. And judging by the way bangs looked in the 1980s, it probably wasn't lying. Yeah. But they said it was all the, and I don't know what CFC stand for. It's like chlora something. It's a hydrocarbon of some sort. It's like chlorofluorodioxide or something. I don't remember. But it seems like, oh my God, all the radiation in the sun, the UV is going to come through to the hole in the ozone layer. And what happened? Is it still there? Like, I don't hear anybody. Did it go away?
I don't know. Well, I don't really listen to a lot of things.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you should. That's called your conscience. When you ask that girl to take her top off and taste the beer, that's the voice saying no.
Well, I didn't ask in that order.
Oh, true. My bad.
No. Well, it's just funny to me, like, not even if it tasted funny, I shouldn't ask any young lady to try my drink. You know?
Yeah, no, this is true.
Yeah, like,
I
was like, this is like, there should be no scenario I should be doing this.
You could have Cosby'd that thing. She has no idea. Yeah, true. Yeah, you're like, well, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
That's scary, dude. That's so scary.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should have looked it up. But it's just something I wrote down. I write down things all the time that I think about. And the ozone layer.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's
one of them.
I'm sure it's there. Or...
I think it probably just opens and closes all the time.
I don't really know, man.
I don't know, man. All right. Well,
the way I think about it, when you say there's a hole, does that mean it stays in one place, or it with the gravity and the way we spin, does it follow us? Like the hole is above China. It's always going to be above China. Because it goes with the Earth, or is it just stay still while we turn? So like everyone's getting a little bit of exposure every year.
Bro, that's an awesome question. I have no idea.
Know. And when someone started to say there's a hole in the ozone layer, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not what it really is. That's the best way to describe it to stupid people like me. Mm-hmm. But I bet it's just like it's degrading.
Well, I think,
yeah,
like, exactly.
Like the whole thing.
If I had to guess, it probably moves around. It's probably not just over to Tibet or something
like
that.
I was wondering. I don't really know. And I'm like, I blame NASA because we went through the atmosphere to go to the moon. Probably their fault.
I think this is a perfect transition to a story that I teased at the beginning of the show, but researchers made use of a nationwide Survey USA telephone poll conducted in 2009, along with a survey conducted by Amazon Mechanical in 2011. Okay, that was the name of a company. All in all, more than 2,800 respondents were asked to answer either strongly agree, mostly disagree, strongly disagree, or Dick's favorite answer, don't know, not sure, to a variety of statements including, is hypnosis useful in helping witnesses accurately recall details of crimes?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Listening to music by Mozart will increase your intelligence. And then the key here, am I more intelligent than the average person? And based off our discussion with the ozone layer, I'm going to say both of us are squarely sub
the Mozart thing.
Middle of the road.
I can see it not being specifically Mozart. I can see whatever some people have a preference in their music, and like it makes them feel a certain way. So like if you're working out, everyone has like a workout playlist. Or if you're studying, everyone has a study playlist. I imagine there's music out there, if you find what gets in tune with your brain,
right,
can make you smart.
Yeah, I have actually known somebody who puts on almost like EDM or heavy metal music to concentrate. Yeah. And I could not.
But you might have your own. It might be like frogs croaking.
John Skeels, all day long. I just listen to him playing.
What's up, John?
Yeah.
But no, I could see like music doing that for people. But it might not be just Mozart.
Yeah, no, I get it. But apparently one of those questions, again, like I said, am I more intelligent than the average person, of which they found 65% of responders felt mostly or strongly agreed that they are more intelligent than the average. Math ain't math in there, because average kind of means 50%, I would think. And 65% of the people think,
well, I'm
pretty smart.
I'm a moron,
Ozone is whole.
I'm okay with everybody being smarter than me.
23% just disagreed. The rest answered, don't know, not sure. Again, I believe that would be your favorite answer. I don't know how I would answer.
Don't know, don't care.
I think I'm going to say don't know, not sure. I want, in my deepest recesses and cockles of my brain and in my heart, I want to believe that I'm smarter than the average person, but I don't believe that I am. I can't even remember what CFC stood for.
Tell you what, though, I'm smarter than the average baby.
Yeah.
12-year-olds suck.
They're dumb.
They're dumb.
Yeah, I think we just discovered where Dick falls on that spectrum.
You're a big old dum-dum.
You're a big old dum-dum. It says men and individuals under the age of 44 had particularly high opinions of their intelligence. 71% in each category thought they were more intelligent than the average person. So they were the ones skewing. It was mostly the younger men going like, yeah, I'm smart as hell, man. Just ask me.
Well, my favorite is when your friends occasionally say like, "Oh man, that's really smart. I didn't know you were that smart." And I always love it when my friends like, that's genius, dude.
Stumbled into saying something intelligent.
Yeah. They're like, or when I problem solve stuff for people.
Well, this is interesting, and we have talked about this before when it comes to looks, but the survey adds another example in support of the notion of illusory superiority.
Oh, yeah.
Known as a cognitive bias in which people overestimate their own qualities and abilities in relation to their peers. And we have talked about that before when it comes to people judging their looks. But this is in smarts.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I like it.
I don't
Whatever.
know.
People, whatever. Like, you ever gone to a strip club? I feel a little smart there. You ever gone to Twin Peaks? I feel a little smart there.
Again,
Except when I asked
they'd like to sponsor
women to
this
chase
show.
my drink.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. I love this story. This is great. Police in Greece said Wednesday they are investigating how an ancient Greek statue came to be dumped in a black plastic bag near a garbage can in the northern city of Thessaloniki. I think this is interesting, man.
No, what's interesting is these articles you find. We could do a montage of you trying to pronounce cities.
Oh, I know. It's always
And
these stories are from all over.
It's so funny to me. All right,
Oh,
keep
it's
going.
probably Thessaloniki.
Yeah,
If I had to guess.
Let's sit here and figure it out.
Thessaloniki, Niki. Nikki Hyde.
It's in a place on Earth, unless
In
it's getting
Greece. Well, it
sucked
says
out.
the organized crime unit said it was investigating after a 32-year-old man went to police to drop off a statue he apparently found inside a black bag near dustbins. Now, this is kind of funny to me. So much like people think all people from Texas ride horses and wear cowboys hats, I kind of feel like in Greece there's statues on every street corner. So this doesn't surprise me that there's going to be a 2,000-year-old statue that someone just went, throw it in the trash. We got one all over.
How big was
What
the
the
statue?
hell? It said it was headless, and there's a picture of it. It doesn't say release the... Oh, a nice big fat ad came up right in the middle. It measures 32 by 10 inches, so just roughly over under 3 feet tall.
That fit in a trash bag?
Yeah, I mean, a tall kitchen bag's 36 or 48 inches, isn't it? Jeez, no, it's not 48 inches. Maybe it's 36. But it did. It fit into a trash bag. But maybe it was one of those contractor bags. You know, those are a little
Who knows?
oversized.
You know what was really strange to me the other day is I was working up the alley and someone randomly came up to the front and goes, "Hey, can I have a large trash bag?" And I go, "What happened?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I just
Nothing.
yeah, and I go, "Where were you going?" He's like, "No, I'm leaving. I'm about to go. I was wondering if you guys had a large trash bag." And I was like,
I'm leaving quickly and I need a trash bag.
Yeah.
Also, do you have some duct tape? Be great.
it was really strange to me, and I apologized to the man. I go,
Yeah, you don't want to be an unwilling accomplice there. Did you say, no, we don't?
to be honest, dude, I don't even know what's going on half the time. So no,
I don't know. You're weirding me out.
I don't know where the trash bags are. I'm sorry, dude. But I always thought it was
not
really
big
funny.
enough to fit a whole body in. That's what he said. Don't worry, I'm chopping them up.
Well, it just makes me think of like he's probably going to Home Depot just to get one trash. He's like buying one of the big ones, and he's like, I got to buy 40 of them.
Dang it. Yeah, I just need one.
I just need one. But, yeah.
Okay, this is funny. I kind of hope we're after the 55-minute mark because this story is
Probably not, but
is
let's go.
crazy. New details surrounding the depraved antics of a New Jersey police chief accused of creating a toxic workplace through disturbing pranks like spiking the office coffee pot with Viagra,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
pricking an officer's penis with a hypodermic needle, and
Okay.
defecating on the floor, emerged in court documents after shocking images outlining the alleged harassment. Okay.
So I wanna,
okay,
I
what's
wanna,
going
I
on?
want to show people this real quick.
This is an
'Cause-
insane story, dude.
What's really wild to me about this story, I'm going to pull it up. So if you can see onesies on our YouTube channel, the guy defecated on some napkins, and then he signed it. He put his name on the napkins. And if I walked in and saw that, I wouldn't immediately think that would be the police chief. I'm like,
Didn't
someone
think you were going to show that picture. I was thought you were going to show the other one, but go ahead.
But-
yes, this is the police chief, by the way.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Has he like?
He was the New Jersey police chief who was a big practical joker. One of his jokes, of which the picture you're showing now, he would go into his subordinates' offices, grab a razor and shave his arm hair or body hair all over there and let the hair fall all over their desk. What a prank. That's so funny.
Maybe he was in a fraternity and never got to haze anybody, so now he's like, we got to haze.
I do think it's interesting that we just glossed right over the pricking an officer's penis with a hypodermic needle. Okay, dude, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, not a joke. Like, where's the punchline here? And how does that happen? Is that before the Viagra or after?
The Viagra one to me is really funny, but also
It's a man
pretty
after your
bad.
own heart.
Well, it's pretty bad. Well, because you don't know how people's medical conditions are. And then again, what I like about that idea is people who drink coffee, I like coffee, is you're drinking that coffee, right? And you're going, man, that's some good coffee. Like, it's going through my system. I'm getting up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting up. And like,
so to speak.
looks down, I'm getting up. I like that little transition. Like, this isn't right.
Well, apparently that was his favorite prank, was the body hair shaving prank. Oh, but I like this.
But that's not really a prank, though,
No,
because
that's what I'm
he's
saying.
doing it right in front of him. So
I don't get it. It says, in another nasty photo, and this is the one you just showed, taken by the office's elderly cleaning woman, shows a deuce planted on the bathroom floor that was allegedly left there by Chief Farley. But I like how they have to say she's an elderly woman. It's not enough that it was just found.
because that's disrespectful.
Oh, my.
Are you wait,
Is that a deuce?
I got a reverse story about an elderly woman for you.
So, about a young woman?
An elderly woman. Reverse.
So, I'm so confused.
I'm
Again,
doing,
I'm
doing,
not above average intelligence.
If folks don't know, I host a seniors tournament, bowling tournament on Wednesday mornings. And somewhere down the line, someone had an accident in the men's restroom. And there was just water everywhere. I don't think it was water. So we're getting the mop bucket and all that kind of stuff out. And we're wheeling it down. And one of the senior ladies go, oh, what happened? And I'm like, I think a gentleman had an accident in the bathroom and it's just water all over the place. And she goes, yeah, a lot of these guys have a hard time keeping it up. And I'm sitting there like, did she just say what I think she just said?
Keeping it in. I believe the
No.
word was in,
No,
madam.
She said up.
Perhaps, but this has
And-
nothing to do with using the restroom.
Well, I mean, at least he might have a better chance of hitting the toilet or hitting the urinal.
Maybe he's doing a handstand.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was really funny to me.
Well,
And-
obviously, Officer Farley has been relieved of his duties, and so to speak, and
there's
is
so
no
much
longer.
documentation of this too. Like, dude,
He's
come
doing
on.
it. Yeah, he's doing it on purpose.
See, this is where I think people might have, drank a little too many Jack Daniels drinks, and then they're like, oh, I can just do this behavior and get away with it.
Well, it says when one incident, one of the police officers said the chief forced him to do his daughter's homework, including writing a letter for culinary class and an essay on the evolution of policing. I mean, I guess that's kind of funny there, but
No, that's not funny at all.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Man, we've got a lot of stories. I didn't get to any of the stories about teenagers. I teased the teenager
All right.
stories.
But let's do the quick hit.
I guess we'll save the teenager stories for next week because I think we are kind of running out of time, are we not?
Yeah.
Dang it. All right, quick hit here at the end of the show. Dick, do you know who Joseph Priestley is?
No.
Here we go. He was an English chemist, Unitarian, natural philosopher, separatist theologian, grammarian, multi-subject educator, and classical liberal political theorist. He published over 150 works and conducted experiments in several areas of science. But he is most notably credited with the independent discovery of oxygen. That's right. This
That's
guy
crazy.
discovered oxygen
Wow.
by the thermal decomposition of mercuric oxide, and I'm going to pretend like I know what all of that means. But can you imagine being the dude who goes, what is this that we're breathing in?
Well, not even that. Say you somehow understand confirming what it is, and then you're trying to convince
Others.
your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know that stuff we breathe in? It's called oxygen.
Bro, it's air.
No way. I don't. Why is it called oxygen?
Because of this decomposition of mercuric oxide, bro. But what's interesting about all of
that's
this...
what I like about the Matrix. Because I love that line. It's like, is that oxygen you're breathing? Because it's like,
Oh, it's a
He's like,
simulation.
Well,
Maybe it is.
maybe we're in it right now. We don't know.
Oh, this is true.
But then when you choke and die because you don't have oxygen, I'm like, I believe.
Well, what I think is really interesting is his discovery occurred. What year do you think he discovered oxygen? Or
Well,
did you
I saw
just read
it.
1774. It's not like it was in 1200 BC or something. Oh, no. This was just a couple hundred years ago. People were walking around, had no idea they were breathing in oxygen. I think it's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, because that's right. 1776
But he said,
was,
I'm not...
was the Declaration of Independence.
That is correct.
So 2 years later.
Correct. But as if that's not enough, he said, oxygen, hold my beer, because during his lifetime, Priestley's other considerable scientific reputation rested on his invention of carbonated water. Bro, this guy contributed. He invented oxygen, or discovered it, and then invented...
I love people like this.
I guess he figured, hey, wait, we've got this stuff in the air. We can squirt it down into the water and make it bubbly.
That's when...
Hence Topo Chico.
That's when you appreciate your neighbors. Like, can you imagine being neighbors with this guy, and you're dealing with his kookiness, but you go over there, and he's like, hey, you got to try this drink. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because I let people... I try their drinks when they offer. And you taste it, and, like, you've never tasted anything like that. Nothing like that ever in your life. The bubbly, and you're like, oh, wow.
For the first time, can you imagine?
That'd be so... I'd be like, you're the coolest neighbor ever.
It's kind of like Doc Brown.
Yeah.
That's why Marty was always over there.
He's got cool stuff,
stuff. Well, Joseph Priestley, you are our audience onesie of the week. Congratulations.
Yes. Way to go. I like how you find these guys. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it was great to see you today.
Thank you. I'm glad you got to see me today, buddy. You
Yeah.
were in a great mood. It was a fun show.
Yeah, I got to eat before you came in, and I had a nice lunch with my dad, and we just talked, and it was great.
That would be Richard Schisler III, who
Yeah.
has a show on this very station, the
Weekly-
weekly business hour, Mondays at...
He's been pretty good about getting
Mondays at 11, I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cross-promote here.
He's got a lot of knowledge. It's kind of being wasted now. So
No, he's sharing it on his weekly business
that's
hour.
what I tell him. I'm like, you're wasting yourself away, dude. Like...
I tend to disagree. All right, guys, thank you for joining our show. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week, onesies. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Taking short jumpers in a three-point era. The game comes to them affecting like Mandela. Taking quick hits and filling up the sheet like a radio. Yellow step tripping up your feet. Talk bad hit. It's audience of one. Talk bad hit. It's second to none. Talk bad hit. They be playing that game. Talk bad hit. It's audience of one. Podcast on radio, but probably not live. Call it Schrodinger, but they still vibe. The discussion is open, like business they stand. It all comes together with the maestro's plan. Talk that hit. It's audience of one. Talk that hit. It's second to none. Talk that hit. They be playing that game. Talk that hit. It's audience of one. Talk that hit. It's audience of one. Talk that hit. It's second to none. Talk that hit. Ain't playing that game. Talk that hit. It's audience of one.